Hey everybody, Jeff Yenser, CreativeMusicGenius.com. Thanks for watching live from the park today. It's a beautiful day.
Welcome to fun with 3 strings, 3 minutes in a triad. Now in the last video I talked about the A5 power chord, and in this video I'm going to go to the D5 power chord, which is really only 2 notes, right? Power chords are so simple and basic, they're not even really triads, right? But you could play that with 3 notes, like you could add another D, an octave higher from the root, right? So then you have a 3-string chord, right? So that you can play it either which way. You have complete creative flexibility, right? Now in that video, in the A5 power chord, I mentioned that power chords are like a creative canvas, right? You can paint with all the other different colors of scales, modes, riffs, rhythms, melody lines. Like most music is just made of little bits, like I'll call rainbow bits, right? For the sake of this, because we're going to play with the colors of the rainbow over top of a D5 power chord, our chord of choice today, the D5, right, which is made up of a D at the root, of course, and then A, right? So if you're going to play a simple power chord on your guitar, you could play the D note, which is the 5th fret of the A string, right? 5th fret of the A string, and then the 7th fret of the D string, right? That gives you your power chord. And then right below that A, actually, on the 7th fret of the G string, you've got another D, right? So you could play it with 3 strings or with 2.
I'm so excited to share rainbow bits, which most leads, melody lines, riffs, motifs are made out of just little bite-sized pieces of 3, 4, or 5 notes.
I just want to share some little patterns on the guitar that you can play right, and then you can sound cool like you're playing in a certain mode, even though you might not know squat about music theory, or maybe you do already. So if we look at the fretboard, right here, we have D at the root of the D string, right? And then on the G string below it at the 11th fret is the 3rd, right? Then we got the sharp 4 there in the green at the 13th fret, and we got the A note, right, which is the 5th of D in the key of D, right? So if you look at our rainbow colors over here, red is 1, the root, right? Orange is 2, yellow is 3, green is 4, blue is 5, purple is 6, and then pink, light pink God energy at the top there is 7, right? So if you just learn this little riff right here, you can sound like you're in the Lydian mode, right? You can play around with that in all different flavors and varieties, right? And then if you want to play in a different key, you just move it around, right? You can just keep reusing that pattern, right? So now, let's look at another one. Right here is a piece, right? It's not the entire Mixolydian mode. Just a bite-sized piece, right? It's so much easier on your brain to just get these bite-sized little pieces, learn this little pattern, and you can riff out to it, right? So again, D at the 12th fret of the D string in the octave, right? Drop back 2 frets to the flat 7th, right? And we'll cover why they call that a flat 7th in another video, right? But you got that note right there on the 10th fret, right? Dropping back to the 9th fret, you've got the 6th, the purple, right? And then the 7th, you have your 5th right there, the A note, right? So that is the tail end of the Mixolydian mode. If we move the screen back half a step, right? Let me get out of my shadow. Now you have, right, a bit of the major scale, the bit of the beginning of the major scale, the 1, 3, 4, and 5, right? Now if I move this back a half step, right? Let me work on my camera skills, right? So you can see what's going on. Move that back a half step to the 10th fret, and now you have the minor, the beginning of the minor scale, right? Part of the beginning of the minor scale, right? Also, the Dorian scale. These modes actually share some similarities, right? So that's the beginning of the minor scale and the Dorian right? And this piece I said was Mixolydian. That actually is the tail end of the Dorian scale also, right? So experiment with these modes, right? Play around with notes on your guitar. You know, if you get some recording software or maybe a jamming buddy, have them play a D5 power chord, and then try some of these different little patterns over top of it, or just pick your own key and scale and rhythm and vibe, right? And post what you make to creativemusicgenius.com in the comments section. If you want us to have a listen to, we'd love to hear what kind of great tunes you're cooking up. Jeff Yenser, 3 strings, 3 minutes and a track. Go to the website, sign up for the introductory part of the course is free.